What up? It's Casper. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about the movie Taxi Driver. Movie Taxi Driver is a 1976 film. It's rated R and it's 1 hour and 54 minutes. Directed by Martin Scorsese. This movie got brought up to me literally in a conversation after watching one of Robert De Niro's movies. For me, being a late bloomer, a lot of the movies I've been seeing from him have been when he's a lot older. Irishman is absolutely one of my favorites, and The Untouchables as well. A lot of those movies, I was just very impressed on just the way he's just taking this to a whole different level. After watching those movies and letting people know that I watched movies like that, there's a lot of other movies where people are like, if you thought that was good, wait till you see Taxi Driver. That was a conversation talking about how young he was. Me being so late to the party, I was already like, dang, I'm impressed with the Godfather performance. So the fact that Taxi Driver was another one that got brought up, I'm like, whoa, I'm so behind on his catalog. A lot of debates out there about this performance might be De Niro's best performance that he's ever done. Shocked hearing that, fascinated knowing that the conversation in movie talk, film talk, goes down routes like this. That sparked a lot of interest to just get to this movie right away, but always lagged on it and never had the time, but finally got to it, being able to finally watch it and see a performance from De Niro at such a young age, mind blown, because this is the same era that he did the Godfather movie, and the 70s in general just had a lot of golden stuff that just made that whole era pop in general. A lot of things to take from this movie where I'm just like, dang, I wonder how people during this time while they were watching it, how they felt, because while I'm watching this movie, I could feel like a lot of moments in this movie where it was definitely like one of those moments where it kind of shook the crowd, maybe shook the audience while watching it. Absolutely just happy to finally watch this movie at an age where I can understand what's kind of going on. Talking about how young Robert De Niro is, Martin Scorsese, this is one of his directing projects where it literally put him on the map for sure. Impressed with just the fact that even in the 70s, he was able to pull off a lot of this stuff in this movie where I'm sitting in my seat and I feel like I'm actually there and actually seen stuff in this movie where, dang, this is the side a lot of people really try to hide. Directing style in this movie, I would just say straight up, this is something that he's seen, something that's happening in real life. This is not no movie bluff, just pretend this is going to be as ugly as possible. Pretty sure people reading the script knew how grimy it was by just the way these actors have to say these lines. A lot of these characters are absolutely grimy as well, don't really have any class type of feel. This movie takes place in New York, so I would definitely explain this movie on there's the good side that people glamorize and would love to travel and enjoy New York, but then there's actually the New York side where people actually have to go through on an everyday basis. They walk past it, they drive past it. That side is literally presented in this movie. Dirtiness of how New York is, the grimy side of no lives, no souls type of environment. Martin Scorsese was able to put a lot of the stuff in this movie where it's an everyday thing. Very impressive because one, the style is like follow me along, especially with Robert De Niro's character, Travis Bickle. Camera direction is really good on getting in the mind of what he's going through, seeing his environment for how small his lonesome self is. And two, I really like how the camera style, the camera direction just felt very, very raw. Out of nowhere shootouts, the crazy kills in this movie, the approach on conversations. You could just see this style, the way it was, really fit that era where I'm standing out from all these other people who are trying to do movies. That's one thing on the directing style for Martin Scorsese where I'm like, dude, this dude already had it in the bag at such a young age. He puts himself in this movie. Him as an actor, I actually like his acting. Seeing him in the studio with Seth Rogen, he has a cameo in the studio, and at him at an older age, that energy, that way he was acting in that episode that I saw him in, he had that same energy and that same crazy wildness where I was just like, whoa, dude, like that's crazy how he still had the same energy. The energy of him in Taxi Driver, the energy was still holding up in the studio. Very, very cool to see. The performance in general, Scorsese does not care putting these lines out. He was in full character mode. These lines do not care about who's watching, who's hearing it. Scorsese's acting really did play the part. Little section in the movie, and honestly is a standout moment. The directing style in the last moment of the movie where Travis Bickle goes literally crazy. Literally my favorite moment on the directing style because De Niro's doing his thing. Just the way the camera was panning everywhere, hovering over the room. Very, very impressed on that moment. Could only imagine how people watching that for the first time felt. Robert De Niro plays the character Travis Bickle. I was already impressed with his Godfather in performance, and this this performance right here, I was like super mind blown. What other movies has he done in this era where they're just like, he was just knocking them out of the park? So there is other movies as well that around kind of like the same time that I still need to watch on my watch list from De Niro. Raging Bull is one of them as well. This is exactly what those conversations that I hear and have, why De Niro really has that, puts him over the top acting style, puts him over the top stardom, gravitational pulled into his acting on just this loner character. This dude was a straight lunatic vibe, psychotic kind of, or literally. There's so many levels in this movie right here where it could relate to a lot of people. Like, this dude puts himself in so many snapping character mode. His acting is what makes this movie. It's too many characteristics that this dude has that is just gonna shock you in this movie. This is a movie definitely you have to at least see once in your life. For me, not knowing about Taxi Driver and seeing all his other movies, it's like a slap to the wrist. It's like, how have you not seen Taxi Driver? There's a lot of stuff in this movie that is so soaked into his character, and then there's other moments in here where the dialogue with other characters kind of get a little bit too much, but does build on his character to show more characteristics. But that was the only thing that I'll probably take away from this movie, is just the random extra dialogue that just dragged on a little bit too much. And also with the prostitute girl, the fact that she was like 12 or 13 in real life as well. I'm like, bro, that's absolutely wild. You know, Jodie Foster, who plays the character Iris, but you know, they had her sister play the crazy moments, so that was the good thing about it, and she was of age. Jodie Foster, who plays the character Iris, her performance in this movie was a shocker, more for the fact that she really looks like a baby in this movie. She's a really great actress, and I can't wait to get more into her catalog. But the fact that I'm getting into her catalog at this age in Taxi Driver, I'm like, whoa, that's wild to me. She did have that acting skills already at a young age. She did a good job with De Niro. That was one of those things where it just brought you a little bit more in. One of those things as well where when you're watching the movie, you're like, how did we end up in this moment? When you see how the movie ends, you're like, okay, I'm kind of glad that, you know, De Niro's character went through that. Good acting on both of them and made the story a way more wilder one. Cybill Shepherd plays Betsy. I thought she did a good job in this movie as well. I just like how a lot of these actresses in this movie really fit just like how magazines would have looked on the wall or a grocery store. The acting in this movie, thank goodness, is all great. One of those things that just makes the story feel a lot more full. Harvey Keitel plays the character Sport. This was a performance where I was shocked to see him at that age as well. The 70s era was definitely displayed in this movie. Harvey Keitel had a really cool costume design in this movie, talking about like the rawness of how the camera directing is in this movie. He was a character that did have that raw feel as well, especially with the New York griminess, and the lines are just as grimy as just how everything I'm trying to explain in this movie. Insane, vulgar, a lot of cussing. Awesome to know that he was in this movie and I saw it. Very cool to know as well that he has other movies with Robert De Niro as well. So the chemistry with all the actors, all in unison and all felt like they were on this mission to put out this movie. So there's other characters in this movie that fill out the movie. There's other pimps involved doing crazy stuff, other drug dealers. Another thing that was a huge standout in this movie was the music score. Background music in this movie, wild great. This was absolutely like, if you were on something and you hear this music, whoa, there's gonna be absolutely chills. Wonder what they were on. Absolutely beautiful. That jazzy, cool mafia feel, like you can cruise around the city vibe, was definitely presented in this movie. Fit every vibe. I was very impressed with that. Every element in this movie really fit to make this into what it was. Very iconic feel to me. After my watching the movie Taxi Driver out of 10, I'm gonna have to give this movie a 9 out of 10. So that's my movie review for the movie Taxi Driver. Shout out to you guys for tuning to the video. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, y'all.